Yeah, let's remove. Now we're alive.
Well, there we go. All right.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know what happened there, but now we're alive. How about that? That's good. This is what happens when you take a month off.
Yeah, the growing pains.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the Crown Jewel PAWCast Wrestle Buddy prediction show. We are down a man with Tidy. Unfortunately, he is just out of the loop at the moment, which is just sad news for anybody who loves wrestling, especially Tidy, because he loves this so much. But we're going to get him back sooner or later. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
We have Albert. Albert, how the heck have you been? And how have you been enjoying your wrestling?
I mean, we don't care about how I've been. Let's talk about how wrestling's been. And wrestling has been great. I've been very much enjoying WWE. I've even watched some AEW, over the past couple of, over the past month that we haven't been together. Yeah, wrestling's clicking on all cylinders. Crazy things are going on. I'm having fun.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just get one AEW thing out of the way before we jump into these predictions.
Sure.
What is your favorite thing happening in AEW right now?
I mean, I am intrigued with this Blackpool Combat Club thing that we got going on here. I want to see what this is leading to. I feel like there's a build, and we're gonna start getting the bit. This is like we're on the very start, like the NWO when they first came in.
Yeah,
they were powerbombing Eric Bischoff off the stage. We didn't really know what the end game was. I think I'm hoping we get like a big reveal for what this end game is, and we kind of see where this is all going. It's interesting. It's making me want to keep tuning in because I kind of want to see where it's going to go. If that was their intention, that's good. I mean, because it didn't work with me the last time. I was interested for like a week in the whole Elite thing after they tombstone Tony Khan. And then I was like, all right, this is just okay for me. This is actually keeping my interest. So I'm hoping it continues. I mean, I love Danielson, so seeing, Danielson go down and, everything they did with him, it's interesting.
Yeah, so NWO Violent is what I've dubbed it.
Yeah.
Myself and Nick have both dubbed it that. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's intriguing. It got me to come back. That's literally what brought me back because the last pay-per-view wasn't anything special. It was like 50-50. And that was going to be my, okay, the pay-per-view has to be really good to bring me back. And then the angle, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of intrigued. What are they doing here? So good job. Whoever's idea this was. I hate to bring it to anybody, though. Shane McMahon is not involved in any way, shape, or form. And if you don't believe me, go to the WWE roster page and go ahead down to the S's, and you'll see that Shane McMahon is still on that roster. So, sorry, everybody. It's not happening. But now we can get to the real reason we're here, Crown Jewel. And guess what? We have a premium live event from WWE that is not 5 matches. So everybody can shut up now and enjoy your 1, 2, 3, 6, 2 extra matches this time around. 2 extra matches. So this is what they're going to do with the big shows, everybody. Just so you know. Kind of told y'all that. If you listen to us, you probably know it too. But you don't.
That's what happens when people think that they know better. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that today. WWE making some big announcements, and already people think that they know better than everybody else. And so it's an amazing thing about the wrestling space.
My favorite one is the AJ Styles story. It's phenomenal.
Oh, that's amazing to me. That one's just great. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It was me.
No, they told him to say that. Don't you know?
Oh yeah. There goes WWE PR into overdrive. Let's get AJ Styles to tweet something out. Apparently, they have those little tools from Mission Impossible. Or, just make them do whatever they want.
So let's go ahead and get your excitement level for this pay-per-view. Our premium live event. I did it again. What's your excitement level for this premium live event?
I am pumped for this PLE. I would say it's like a 8.5, 9. Yeah.
I'm about, I would say the same because I'm looking at it and there's a few. Honestly, I don't think any of these matches I know for sure what's going to happen.
Thank you. I love that.
That's my big thing. If you can give me a show that I'm going to watch and I have to pay attention to because I don't know what's going to happen, you've got me. I would say I'm kind of upset they're doing the whole world champion to become super world champion thing. That's weird, but that's what Saudi wants, so that's what Saudi gets, and I'm okay with it. But we're getting Cody versus Gunther out of this, and it's like that should be a bigger deal.
So
that's the problem.
So here's my thing. I think that everybody has been kind of looking at this as like a Super Bowl or a World Series. I think that's where everybody has kind of gotten this all backwards. This is an all-star game. That's what this is WWE's all-star game. And I think that it's a good way to look at it because it's almost the all-star game is like an exhibition. It doesn't really count. It's for bragging rights. And that's what this belt is. It's like, the all-star game championship. That's where both of these champions will lay. For a year, they can say, yeah, I'm the grand champion because I won at Crown Jewel, and that belt's not going to be defended. It's a prop. They're going to hold it for a couple of pictures. They might come out with it a couple of times, on the shows, and that's going to be the end of it. It's going to be for Saudi. So in my opinion, if this is just an all-star game, I think this is really cool. I think it's a good way, and WWE's kind of negated this for me because when I first said this, there wasn't a lot of brand crossover, but we're getting a lot of that now. Obviously with Jey Uso really just kind of more being on SmackDown, I guess that, and now that bringing that whole story to Raw, that's been a big thing. But in my opinion, my thought process was if this is like one of those very small places where we get to see some inter-brand wrestling because it's just grand champions of both brands, it's an all-star game. This is a cool concept. Hopefully they stick more to that in the future. But I think if this is going to be what it's going to be, I'm cool with it. And like you said, we get Cody and Gunther out of this. I do agree that I feel like this should have been. I guess because they're not on the same show, it still can be. But I feel like this should have been, Gunther should have been Cody Rhodes's, Drago.
It's for the first time ever between these two. I feel like the stakes should be higher, and the stakes aren't that high because it's just it's for a title that we're going to see once, and then you won't see it again until the next Saudi show. So it's like, come on. It makes me think cheap victories coming up. Goldberg. That's the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, with this. And it's like, I hope it doesn't happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But then it's like, I don't want a definitive win either because this is their first time. Like,
right.
I think it should be a big deal when Cody beats Gunther or Gunther beats Cody because those to me are your two top guys as far as your in-ring stuff. Roman is clearly the top guy in the company, but he's more of an attraction. As far as your guys that are there week in, week out, it's Gunther and Cody. And, man, it's – but I'm willing to look past it. I'm willing to give the show a chance.
Yeah. Should we start with that match? We're already talking about it, right?
Let's just jump right into it, I guess.
Right? We may as well.
So we got Gunther.
We've been talking about it for 15 minutes. We may as well go for it, right?
Your world heavyweight champion until he faces Dom, taking on Cody Rhodes, the undisputed universal champion. I guess my first question for you, this is going to be our bonus question for this one. Does this match main event?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it has to. Yeah, I think it kind of has to. It's for the grand championship. It's got both world champions in it. I think it's got right. I feel like if it doesn't main event, that cheapens this championship even more.
Okay, I'm gonna go the exact opposite of you. We're starting with this. I think it's going to open because the top title, you either open or you close. I can't see the Bloodline versus OG Bloodline not main eventing because of the implications and things that can happen at the end of this match. It's going to be one of those matches that ends, and we'll get to that one later. But that's my whole thing. I think something big happens with that one, so you have to open up, say, hey, here we are, and you get Gunther and Cody, and those two are going to tear it down. Match of the night, probably. If I had to guess, I would say this is probably going to be match of the night. Gunther, old school. Cody loves old school. Drawn out. I don't mind it. I like slow stories being told matches like this.
Absolutely.
And again, I honestly just don't know who wins. So that's why I'm super intrigued in this. Just wish it was at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. But so you say main events, I say opens. Boom.
Interesting. I think the women's world unification, Crown Jewel Championship is going to open. That's my opinion. But
co-main event. We're literally going opposite ends here. So the big question then: Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Who do you have winning, and why? So
here's all right. This is where I'm thinking. If Cody wins this match, I feel like people are going to start to get to the he's bulletproof, he's John Cena, he's never going to lose, yada, yada, yada.
He's already there.
Push down our throats. I think WWE knows that. And I think they're smart. And this is why I think they're running this match now. Because I think Gunther wins. And I think that gives Cody an inevitable hill to have to climb at one point. Because there's going to be a point where they're going to meet again. And Gunther's going to be the guy that can sit there and say, you've mowed down everybody. You beat the unbeatable Roman Reigns. You've taken down, eventually I'm sure, he's beaten Kevin Owens already. Eventually I'm sure he's going to get into something with Randy Orton. And he can go through the whole list and he can be like, the one thing you never did was beat me. And that's going to be Gunther's claim to fame. He's beaten the Golden Boy. Nobody can touch him. He's untouchable. Who can beat me? I'm the best. Maybe that's the idea of where WWE is trying to go with this whole, and I hate it, this whole thing with Goldberg. Maybe that's where he comes in. He's like, okay, well, you beat Cody, but you didn't beat me. And then I hope, Gunther just slaps the hair off his chest and.
So I'm going to shock some people with this. I don't mind the idea of Gunther versus Goldberg because I believe legends, and yes, Goldberg is a legend, people. Get over yourself.
He is. No, he is.
I think legends deserve to go out on good terms. They deserve to have that match that's like, that's your final match. Undertaker chased it for years and years and years. And thankfully, this is one of the silver linings from the whole Thunderdome era. They were able to do one of the cinematic matches, and it was the best possible way to send them off. It was great. We saw it with Sting and AW. It was a great way to send him off. Regardless of what everybody thinks about it, Bryan Danielson's send-off was great.
Yeah.
Goldberg is not on those guys' level. I won't say that, but I will say that he is a legend. If you didn't watch WCW, you don't know. And I think he deserves that match to go out. And I think of anybody in wrestling today, that's across the board. I think Gunther is the perfect guy for this. And with Royal Rumble coming up, that is a perfect world title match for the Royal Rumble because feature is the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so that's fair.
Have one of these throwaway matches where it's like we know Gunther's going to win, but let him send Goldberg out in a good fashion. I don't see anything wrong with that. So
knock the dust off his chest. Here's the thing. I don't know if the thing is that Goldberg's done these interviews where he said he doesn't want to. He wants to I want to have this retirement match, and I think that he keeps saying that because he wants to go out with a W. And I don't know if they're gonna if that means if we do this, that means there's gonna be another Goldberg match.
I just think it would be poetic if he just went out with a loss.
I think that it would be
because of the streak. Like you were unstoppable, but now it's like, hey man, maybe this is a sign that it's time to wrap it up.
But that's what he did.
Days of glory. I think
he went out against Drew that way. Wouldn't that have been the perfect exit if that was going to be the way he wanted to go out? I feel like if he. What's that?
Oh, what was that?
Didn't he lose to Drew in his final match?
No, Roman, wasn't it? No, Braun.
No,
I don't know what his final match. I'm gonna look this up.
I'm pretty sure it was Drew.
We're gonna look this up. I don't think he's faced Drew McIntyre
at Royal Rumble.
I don't remember that.
I am like 90% sure that was a thing.
It might be for sure. I might be just going crazy. Matches. Roman Reigns defeats Goldberg. Referee's decision was his last match at Elimination Chamber 2022.
I forgot all about
Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel 2021.
Right.
He fought Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, and he fought Drew at Royal Rumble 2021.
Okay, I thought that was okay. So it was
4 matches ago.
All right. So All right, so then he beats Lashley. Wait, he beat Bobby, then he
I
lost
don't
to
think he
Bobby.
beat any of those guys. I think he lost every single one of them.
Oh, so there you go. So then, if you think he's going to want to go out with another loss to Gunther?
Hey, I think the story's there, and I think Triple H is really good at talking to these older guys and saying, "Hey, we're going to do this in a way where you don't look like a bitch. We're going to make it nice. We're gonna hype this thing up, and you're going to go out in a blaze of glory."
I completely forgot that match against Roman. That happened.
Yeah, referee's decision. That's how it ended too.
Why don't I even remember this? Like, was that like so stricken from my memory?
Yeah.
How long ago was that? Wow.
But with that said, I don't see Gunther winning. I just don't.
Okay.
I think when Gunther beats Cody, it needs to mean something. And this Crown Jewel title doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. It just doesn't. It's a prop for them. And again, I understand it. I'm not mad at it. I don't think Gunther should beat Cody here. I think Cody should win. He's got to look strong going into Mania. He has to. And if he was to take a loss now and going into the Royal Rumble season, that doesn't look good to me. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. You don't think that at this point Cody can afford the loss?
I don't think he can.
Interesting. I think he's built up enough equity where I think he can. I think he can survive it.
I always look back to him versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. He didn't lose to Seth with one arm. So when he loses, it has to be big. It has to be big. Like when he lost to Drew going into WrestleMania season, that was big because Drew needed that to gain momentum. And Seth and Cody was going through stuff, so it was fine. When has he lost? When is he?
He's lost lose. Roman, and I think he lost in that tag match. I think to Solo, right?
What tag match?
It was the pay-per-view tag match, and then Solo got the world title shot the next pay-per-view. It was him and Jacob versus, was it
Cody and Kevin?
Yeah. Or maybe it was a six-man? Or maybe it was a six-man. Was that SummerSlam?
So at Money in the Bank, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga defeated Cody, Kevin, and Randy Orton.
There we go. Yeah.
And he took the pin?
I don't remember.
And if he did take the pin, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It was necessary to give Solo
the world title shot.
The world title shot. It was
right.
It meant something. If he loses to Gunther, what does it mean? It just means Gunther beat another person. We know Gunther beats everybody.
But I think that's the thing. I think that makes Cody like a statistic, and I think that like drives I think that further plants the story of driving Cody crazy. That okay, yeah, Gunther beats everybody. And that includes me. Like, you know what I mean? I have to right that wrong. I have to beat him.
Oh, thank you very much. The background is coming together. I'll have it so much better here in like a month. The OG. That's right. Seth Rollins is my brother. The Drip King and the Visionary. That's what we do. Yeah, Cody. I just don't think he can lose. I just don't. I just don't think he can lose. I think Gunther.
I like that we're really split on this. It's great.
Because, man, this is the tough one. This is the tough one.
It is. It is. It really is. I love that. Like, this is so cool.
We are completely opposite on both ends of this. I think it's opening. You think it's main eventing. I'm taking Cody Rhodes, and you're taking Gunther. This is.
And you would think by our positions we would actually pick the other person to win. Because if it was main eventing, you would think you would want it to go out with Cody, as the big celebration. And if it was opening, you would think you would. The show can survive a Gunther win in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting the way we're both thinking. I like that. I love this.
Again, the main event plays into this, so we'll get to that in a little bit later. We'll get to that.
Interesting.
Later.
Okay.
So from there, I'll try and do this. I think the fatal four-way for the women's tag team champions, that'll be your second match on the show. You have the champions, Jade and Bianca, taking on Damage Control versus a Chelsea Green and the Meta 2, because the other two aren't there. But this is another one of those matches. I know the popular opinion would be Bianca and Jade are just going to win. They're going to steamroll them, especially since they just teased Liv and Raquel. But this is the perfect opportunity to take those titles off them, which I think they need to do. That's just me, though. What about you? Do you think Jade and Bianca are kind of holding those titles hostage right now?
I think that they're trying to rebuild that division. I think that there was a point where, we had Bayley and Mercedes, held those championships, and that was like a big deal, right, when they first won them. And then, time went on where those kind of, meant less. And then that's what what led Mercedes. And then at that time, Naomi to walk out on WWE was the idea that they were trying to rebuild this division to try to bring credibility to it. I think Bianca understands that she's coming off a very long run at the top and she needs to recharge her batteries. I think for the most part, she's gotten there. But I also think that we're at a point where she hasn't felt like she's rehabilitated this division enough. And I think this is the beginning of it. I don't think they lose the titles here. I think that I think they want to build a credible challenger to take the championships off of them. I think that I don't know if they even know who that is yet because of who they've kind of faced, but I think that they retain here. I think that there's a very good chance that if anybody does take the titles off of them, this is the perfect opportunity to have Chelsea Green sneak a win in, right? And take those titles back. I mean, look, I would love to see it. We both know of our mutual love for Chelsea Green. She's been phenomenal since she's come back to WWE. But I think that if you're rehabbing this division, I think they're the ones to rehab it with. And they've been to NXT, they've been to SmackDown, they've been to Raw, they've done everything they can to make these championships feel important. I don't think they lose them until the Rumble. And I think that's where we get some tension and we can get some build to maybe possibly having them collide at WrestleMania.
I don't even think that's the Mania match for either of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance they drag it out even longer.
Yeah. There's a chance. I don't think that's the main match.
Might not
I'm of the theory that just like the Raw tag team division needs a reboot and a fresh start, and I think the best way to do that is putting the titles on the the War Raiders. We can call them the War Raiders again. Thank goodness.
Amazing.
Put those titles on the War Raiders right now.
I would love to see that.
Because they returned, they're fresh. Restart the division. They just did it over on SmackDown with Motor City Machine Guns. Great idea. Perfect. Love it. I think they do it in AEW with the Outrunners because every tag division that I watch has been kind of in the dumps for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about SmackDown's tag division now because, again, the Motor City Machine Guns are a breath of fresh air on that show. It's a great idea.
So many first-time matches now.
Yeah, yes. The War Raiders are the exact same thing. You got two big dudes who can now just run through people and you could have them wrestle every other week and just dominating people and build that division back up.
Yeah.
Make those titles mean something again. And I think the women's division needs that. I know Jade and Bianca are giving you the most exposure with it. Those are the big stars. I just think the main event scenes kind of need Bianca more right now. And this is coming from someone who was kind of tired of Bianca. Well, I think the break's done. I think she can go back, which kind of would put Cargill in a position what about me? And that's a way you could drive tension between the two. You left me to go cater to your own ego. Tension starts. There you go.
And I can see that. I can see Naomi kind of being inserted into there somewhere to maybe be I'll tag with you, Jade, and that's who she turns on.
And with that said, the perfect team to do that with the women's division is Lash and Jakara. Nothing would make them a bigger deal on the main roster than doing that. Give them a statement win in their first PLE. And it could be through some crazy conundrum that happens. They just steal it. That's fine. They still found a way.
Right.
And then you could literally have them on NXT, Raw, SmackDown. They're getting some work under them. They're getting better. Because Lash, from the first time I see her to this time, night and day. She is fantastic right now compared to what she was before. And I think they're great as a tag team. They were doing things together in that little 5-minute match they had on SmackDown. They did what we always talk about. They made the most of the little time they had, and they looked great. Lash Legend is one of those ones that she can stand toe-to-toe with Bianca and Rhea and Raquel and Jade. She's every bit their size. I think you should do that, but we're doing the prediction game, and I want to win, so I'm going to stick with Jade and Bianca here. I think it's the wrong decision. But,
so here's the thing.
Oh,
I think that if they didn't lose the tag titles like that at one point in a triple threat match where they weren't pinned, I feel like there'd be more of a chance where I would be open to seeing it happen again in this situation. I just don't think that they do it twice to them, because then it just looks like they've cheapened out. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why. Again, look, we both predicted the same thing. I guess we're both almost fighting against what we what we want, what we want to see. But
use this head, not this one.
Yeah. Right.
So with that said, which team takes the pin here?
I say that I think that Bianca and Jade pin the Meta Girls and win the titles. Keep the titles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm even gonna break and say this.
Don't you dare.
That'd be Chelsea.
Oh, come on.
And Piper. That's terrible. I hate it. I hate this world. I do. But I just think that's what it is. She's the pin taker. She's the one that's going to protect literally everyone else in the match because Chelsea Green's character fits it. Get a mid-card title on that woman right now, though. Please.
Really quick, can we just go over the fact that she did a Van Terminator during the commercial of that dumpster match with Michin? And it never made TV. She's the most insane person ever. Like, she's great.
She's fantastic. I'm glad that she got her flowers quick when she came back to WWE.
Yeah.
Because she's fantastic.
There was a lot of hate when she got rehired, and boy, did she prove everybody wrong.
So now we will go to another multi-person match with the United States Championship up for grabs between Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Of the 7, this is crazy. There's 7 matches. This is the 7, I will say this is the one I'm least excited about. I thought the Game 7 match was kind of a cop-out.
A little bit, yeah.
It was well within LA Knight's character, though, so I'm willing to forgive it just for that because I'm the winner. Because, yeah, I got it. He's that kind of mega egomaniac. I get it.
Right.
But it was like, come on, we just went through a best of 7 series and you just ruined it, bro. You're a heel, in my opinion.
I think they go and have one more to kind of shore that up. I hope
they should. So,
yeah.
With that said, what are the chances that LA Knight drops the title here?
I think very slim to none. But if they're really going to want to jumpstart Carmelo Hayes, man, what a spot this would be for him to pin Andrade and be like, oh, now I have more wins over you and I got the title. And LA Knight doesn't have to even factor into the decision. Protects him and puts the title onto Carmelo. I don't think it happens. But if they really wanted to jumpstart him, this is where you do it.
And see, I think the way to, because I don't believe Triple H is a very patient man. We saw it with LA Knight ourselves. LA Knight was the perfect example. He's very patient. I think throwing the title on Carmelo Hayes now might be too soon because LA Knight's hot. He's still hot. Like that crowd goes crazy for this man every single time. And I think he needs to have not a crazy long run, but a lengthy run. I think WrestleMania is probably the point where I would say, all right, now we can start looking at taking the title off of him. I think a good way for Carmelo Hayes to get to that next level is kind of the same way they did with Braun Breaker. With Braun, it was he lost the first title match he got. He learned from it. He came back. He beat Sami Zayn. He defended against Jey Uso in his first title defense. He came back. He lost it, but then he came back on his second go-around, and he beat Jey Uso to win his title back. He's learning lessons along the way. I think this is a way for Carmelo Hayes to do it, just in a different fashion, where Andrade takes the pin. So Carmelo's like, what are we doing here? I beat you all the time. You couldn't beat me in a best-of-7 series, and then you cost me my title. That's how you get to the 7th match.
Sure, that makes sense.
Or Carmelo Hayes can win it, and then he can go back after LA Knight at Royal Rumble or Survivor Series, wherever it takes place.
Sure, I can see that happening too. Yeah,
I think that would be the road they go, and that's why I'm just gonna. I think it'd be stupid to take the title off LA Knight right now. That's just my thing.
Yeah, I agree.
2% chance it happens.
I agree.
So I'm sticking with LA Knight. And that's what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Courtney in chat. She finally showed up. About time. What are you doing? You're late to the party. Jordan Grace, Rob Van Dam, and Bully Ray all showed up.
Nice.
I'm curious to see who Rob Van Dam is facing at that ECW show.
Yeah.
Devion Evans is probably the go-to one for that. That would be pretty sick. But
that would be pretty cool.
And then Dawn Marie will be there next Wednesday.
Cool. Very cool.
Very excited for that ECW show because it's making people's heads explode. They don't belong there. Neither do you. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
Developmental. What do legends have to do with developing talent? Like, do you think when you talk sometimes? I mean, come on, people.
They don't think, man. I don't think they can think. Next up, I think this is probably the match I'm the most excited about. We got Seth a freaking Rollins, as Talabuddy here says, my brother, taking on my favorite act, not named Dominic Mysterio in all of wrestling, Bronson Reed. Ooh. So excited for this match because Bronson Reed has been waiting since he got back to get these kinds of moments, and he has been knocking out grand slam after touchdown after hat trick, whatever we're going to call it. He's doing it all. Every opportunity he's given, he's knocking out the park. It's fantastic.
Can we talk about that garbage pail throw? And Seth Rollins.
God, it was so great.
Right on the money.
Now, I'll ask you before I break my own heart. What do you think about this match? How excited are you for this match? And who do you think is winning it?
My excitement level is bigger, I think, than even normal about this because I recently kind of thought about something. This match was supposed to happen. This match was supposed to happen in Australia for the world title, and Bronson Reed's wife went into labor. And he missed the show because he was there for the birth of his child.
That dang kid.
And I think that it's crazy how time works, that now after Bronson's been completely rehabilitated and turned into this absolute unhinged monster, the big match he gets on the big show is against Seth Rollins again.
It's a blessing. It was a blessing.
Yeah. It's funny to me how time works. It's funny to me how all this kind of works out. Bronson Reed, you said he's your favorite act, not named Dominic Mysterio. I mean, he is like one of the reasons why I'm tuning into Raw every week. Him tearing the buildings down with Braun Strowman, him doing it now with Seth. I mean, I'm loving everything that they've been doing with this guy. The tsunamis taking people out. I mean, it's been the greatest way to build a heel. And why would you stop the momentum now? I think that if you're really looking to make Bronson Reed that next big thing, let's go all the way. Let's put him over Seth Rollins. Let's have him beat the former world champion at Crown Jewel on a PLE. All the eyes, focused on him, and he's got that notch in his belt now to start making his way up the card. Because, I mean, let's face it, Bronson Reed versus Gunther for the world title, even if it's just on a Raw, just give me all of that. All of it, please.
So before I go into mine, I'm going to go ahead and post this. Damn, Liv and Raquel just beat mommy to a bloody pulp just now.
It's interesting how that works.
Love it. I can't wait to watch that. That'll get me to watch NXT. Have Rhea Ripley getting her butt kicked every week.
But I thought that she never. I thought she never looks weak.
Bro, never. So
always on the top.
Back to Bronson and Seth. I think the reason it's a blessing. He had less than 0% chance of beating Seth in Perth. Just wasn't gonna happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. I believe he could beat Seth Rollins right now.
Yes.
And now that I'm thinking about it, Seth got injured on Raw. So I'm literally changing my pick right now. I think Bronson Reed is going to pull out the upset here, and we're going to get Bronson Reed taking out Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel, and it's going to be his staple win. This is your time, man. We've built you up. We've gave you the win. Here it is. Run with it. Let's see how far you can go, man. I don't know how we get there. This is just tidbit extra stuff. I want Bronson Reed to be the guy that dethrones LA Knight. I don't know how we get there, but that's what I want. I think that's a great fresh feud.
Yes,
and it would be so good, and that's what I want to see. But yeah, I think Bronson wins. I think he does it. I know I'm probably being the skeptic and a fanboy and all that. I'm doing the tidy thing right now, and that's okay.
We both are. I think.
Okay.
I think that. Look, I think the fact is that Bronson has gotten over as a monster. He's been endearing, like in what he's been doing. It's been fun the way he's been built. I think that as a fan, you almost want to see him take that next step. To see where it's not like he puts on bad matches. He wrestles well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's everything you would want out of a guy in that position. Let's let him run with this now.
So baseball bats were involved when they beat Rhea. That makes it even better. So now the bonus question here: how many tsunamis does Seth take?
I'm going to say 5.
Oh, he wants Seth to die.
I think that he beats him, and I think he goes back, and like what he did the first time. I think that's going to be it. He's going to make a statement.
I'm going to go with 3. I'm not going to go too crazy here. I think he hits 3, and I think they're all in the match. I think he hits the first one, and then he goes up, he hits the second one. Scratch that. No, because it needs to be protected. Seth better not freaking kick out of this. I think he just hits 3 in succession just to put the stamp of approval on this. Like, I am here. I have arrived. Bronson Reed with 3 tsunamis for the 1, 2, 3. 1 for each pin count.
I like it.
And that's what Bronson. Ooh, now I'm so excited. I'm gonna cry if Bronson Reed doesn't win now. I'll blame you for it too. I'm gonna blame Albert. So now that we got that one out of the way, we'll go over, since she just brought her up. We got Liv versus Nia Jax for the women's world championship at Crown Jewel, which I think is the co-main event. What do you think about the build for this match?
It's been good. All right, so here's the thing. The build for the match has been fine.
Okay.
The match itself for me is just I have no desire to see this match. Like, there's just nothing.
You hate Liv Morgan. You hate her so much.
It's not that I dislike her because
she's a hater, everybody.
I don't. I've softened on her. She's gotten better. I still really don't like her that much, but she's grown on me, a little bit. Okay. The thing is this. I'm not saying this just because it was Liv. I'm going to also put this into a perspective of a feud a couple of years ago that Nia had with Alexa Bliss. There's just a part of me that doesn't buy the fact that a girl who looks like she's 135 pounds stands any chance in any way, shape, or form against Nia Jax. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I know that Liv is good and she's crafty and she's facing opponents bigger than her all the time and she's figuring out ways to make this interesting. I just
beat Mommy twice.
Yeah, yes, she did. And look, Raquel is going to be. I'm 95% sure she's going to be in her corner. To open up some different. It's just, for me, I kind of know what that means. I just don't see this match being that entertaining. I just feel like it's just going to be there. I'm not excited about it. I feel like that if we were going to do this, when we did this for the guys, it's Cody and Gunther, and I'm excited. I'm like, wow, these are 2 people. Like, if this was, look, even if Nia wasn't in the equation and it was Rhea, I'd be more excited about it because there's something there. If it, I don't know, like if it was Rhea and Nia, I'd be more excited because at least it's like, a battle of the Titans. I feel like that this should be some sort of a dream match, and I feel like this is not a match anybody's ever said, man, I really, really, really want to see Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. That's just the way I feel. I get it. Like, again, this is supposed to be an all-star game. I feel like this isn't. They could have done Bayley and Liv, and it would have been felt more all-star gamey than it does now.
Okay. There was a segment, I think it was 2 SmackDowns ago, where it involved Liv, Raquel, Nia, Tiffany Stratton, Bayley, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley, all of them involved. And
Yeah.
I literally was screaming on my couch. I was like, this is awesome. It is chaos. I
love that.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos is fun, people. Deal with it. And we're not going to get no technical masterpiece out of Liv and Nia. I'll sit here and admit that. Dom, don't be mad at me for it. I think Liv wins. So there, I'm forgiven. I
think Nia wins.
I love the uncertainty of what's going to happen in this match, because I think something you might have forgotten about during your hateful rant against Liv Morgan there is Tiffany Stratton is going to play a factor in this match, because it's not just Nia's title, it's Liv's title she could be going after here.
Yeah. No,
that's interesting to me, because I could realistically see Tiffany cashing in on either one of them. Honestly, I know it's much more likely on Nia because of the storyline and all that stuff, but they've thrown curveballs at us before. And does Liv need the title right now? I don't think so. I think she's just part of a really good angle, and I don't think you need it. So, and we're seeing the Judgment Day cracks. I was so close. I was so close. I predicted it in the last pay-per-view, and it didn't happen, but it's happening now. God, I'm so mad at myself for that. But we're seeing it now, and what drives cracks even more is people losing their gold.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it is interesting. We did see, I mean, and to play into it, we did see that little segment backstage, last week, where they had Liv and JD cheers their titles. Hey, now we can concentrate on being champions.
Yeah, and I think they're losing their tag titles to the War Raiders. So, I mean, the Judgment Day is crumbling way quicker than I thought it would. I just thought we were going to see cracks, but I think Tiffany's going to be very interesting in this match. And if she doesn't cash in, she costs Nia, which furthers that story, which I'm fine with. I think that works. I think Liv needs the win more than Nia does, 1,000%, because Liv's reign has been mostly just fun story. She doesn't have any real signature wins. She beat Rhea, but yeah, we knew that was going to happen. That was just a given. She beat Becky to win the title, and then since then has not really done anything of merit outside of the regular stuff.
I agree. So, people have been saying that it's been a little bit lackluster, and it has been. Like, it's been involved in story, and sometimes that happens with titles. But you know what? The other thing is that I feel like we got into this big, deal during the Attitude Era where champions defended their titles every week.
They shouldn't.
And that also shouldn't be the case either. I think that Liv shouldn't be wrestling every week. I think that champions should be on more of a relaxed schedule, because like during the Ruthless Aggression Era, they couldn't keep a champion healthy, and that's why like the title was on Batista, and then he tore his arm, and then it was on Edge, and he hurt his neck, and then it was on Mark Henry, and he broke his leg, and what I mean, like that's what happens when you overwork your champions.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that there's a middle ground that they can find.
Okay, sure. So take Rhea out of the equation here. Who has Liv beat since she won the title?
Nobody.
Zelina. That's it.
Yeah, okay, I forgot.
And that's why I think she needs this way more than Nia does, because Nia just looks like a monster. And if she gets screwed over, then, okay, she's still a monster. She's going to go handle her business against Tiffany. Hey, Candice LeRae is now involved in this as well, too.
Yes.
That's amazing. This match right here has created, like, opportunities for girls to get on screen and not in the ring. I don't know. Oh, well, what's their ring time? Shut up. They're on TV. They're part of something major. They're getting an opportunity to win a crowd over. And this match right here has done, let's see, Candice, Indy, Tiffany, Bayley, Naomi, Raquel, and Rhea Ripley. That's 7 women involved. They have been involved in this story, build whatever for the match between Nia and Liv. So that alone makes me like, I love the build. The match, nothing to be crazy about, but I am excited about the story. And if they can win me with the story, then I don't care that the match isn't that great.
Here's my question, though. I get we have the equalizer. You have Liv has Raquel on the outside, right? But we know Rhea's probably going to be there. You think this is going to be one of those situations where Rhea goes to cost Liv the match and accidentally wins it for her?
I think she's going to neutralize. I think Raquel and Rhea neutralize each other.
Okay, and then that leaves Tiffany then wide open to interfere.
To screw over Nia.
Interesting. Okay.
accidentally, but still.
And then maybe if she's out cold, that's it anyway, right?
Because Nia's knocked out cold after the match, and she's just like, well, I think there's a lot. She
already lost, right?
I think there's a lot of fun that can happen here. So
there definitely is.
So who you got then?
I'm still going with Nia.
This man hates Liv Morgan with a passion.
I'm never going to beat these allegations.
Now, next up, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. And I'm going to look something up real quick because I don't think these two have ever had a feud before.
I don't think they've had a match against each other before.
And to me, that is insane.
Is that not the craziest thing ever? Because I cannot remember them having a feud. A match, maybe they had it like on a random build somewhere at some point.
I'm sure on a house show or something it's happened.
Right. I don't think they've ever had a TV match.
Kevin Owens. They had the triple threat with Logan Paul.
Right.
Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at... I don't know when that one was. So, one-on-one, it's happened 3 times.
Interesting. Okay.
This one happened on SmackDown, and it was a no disqualification match in 2017.
Wow. Okay.
And in 2020 on Monday Night Raw, it happened. Don't remember it. I assume that was during the whole... No, this was during like right before
2020. I mean, we're in the Thunderdome, aren't we?
Yeah, right before the Thunderdome, because Kevin Owens wasn't part of the Thunderdome. He left.
Right. No, well, in the very beginning, he faces Roman in January.
Well, I'm saying the only match he had, he did the match against Seth at WrestleMania, and then he left, and he didn't come back until the end of that summer, like everyone else did.
Okay.
He was gone for April, May, June, July.
Right. Okay. Right.
So two times in the Thunderdome, which don't count because Thunderdome just doesn't count. And then once in 2017. I don't think any of these had anything to do with a feud.
No. So, I mean, this is it. That's what I'm saying. This is very interesting.
Yes.
And
this is fantastic. And guess what, everybody? Kevin Owens is not feuding with the Bloodline right now.
It's about time, right?
That's insane. So I'm excited for it just because of that reason. Kevin Owens is literally one of my all-time favorites. We all know this. He's top 4 for me all time. And Randy Orton, I've literally learned to appreciate over these last few years as
Randy Orton,
the all-time greats.
Randy Orton was like high school, like college age Albert's favorite wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. This is a big this feud, this match is a big deal. I like the build.
I'll ask you this: what did you think of the segment between Randy Orton and Triple H on SmackDown?
I
saw a lot of people hating on it, and I'm like,
why? I thought it was great. I think it was perfect. I think this drove home the idea of why this is important, and what the stakes are, and what and it made it more intriguing. They could have just they could have been very simple. Hey, he beat me up. Give me a match with him. Okay. All right. Woohoo. I like that they put a little bit more behind it to make this mean a little bit more. This is a rehabilitation of Kevin Owens because we know what happens with KO. KO has very high highs and then he dips really low. And every time what's that?
He always makes it all work, though.
Right.
And there's never a point where he's not good. It's just
right. And there's never a point
where to take a step back.
Right. And there's never a point where even if you put him into a world title match like you did with Cody, all right, we kind of knew he wasn't going to win, but there was a chance that, like, if he won, it wouldn't be out of the realm of surprise to say, hey, they put the world title on Kevin Owens. Okay, cool. Like, so he's always right there, but there are just times where he's got to kind of come back, on the come up. And I think this is it. And I think this gives him I think he beats Randy Orton here. I do. I think he wins, and I think this solidifies him a little bit more as a upper echelon heel. That once Cody is now Cody's not feuding with the Bloodline anymore, right? So once Cody's moved away from that, he's going to need somewhere to go. KO might be the perfect person to greet him at Survivor Series.
So let's see. So I think what was so brilliant about the segment on Friday between Triple H and Randy Orton is, to me, it built up Kevin Owens big time. It put him over as like, hey, this is the Kevin Owens that doesn't give a damn. This is the Kevin Owens that came onto the main roster and showed up in NXT to take out his brother Sami Zayn. He doesn't have any remorse for the things that he does. I think that was my favorite part, is that, yes, it was a great segment between Triple H and Randy Orton. It's great to see those guys together because they're awesome. But I love the fact that it completely put Kevin Owens over.
Yeah.
Like, Randy, I love you, man, but I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into. And if he faced him in 2017, that's the earliest he faced him. He doesn't know what he's getting himself into.
Right.
This Kevin Owens is not only brutal and nasty, he's much wiser than the Kevin Owens from 10 years ago. I'm excited for this one. Not as excited as Bronson and Seth, because this one kind of did get put together over the last 2 weeks. I didn't think they were going to go this route so soon. I figured we'd probably get Randy versus Cody before we got Kevin Owens versus Randy, but I'm not mad at it.
No, I like that they're, and here's the other thing. I like that they're telling stories outside, like in the world title scene, but outside the world title picture. And I think that's a great thing.
It's a feud that has implications for the world title afterwards. It's
right.
very clear that whoever wins this match or whoever wins this feud is probably going to be challenging Cody next.
Right.
That's the kind of shit I like to see. With that said, who do you have winning? You got Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
All right. It's very rare that I do this. I think Randy Orton wins by disqualification. I think Kevin Owens brutalizes this man and they have to call the match, or he uses a chair on him or something. I think Kevin Owens is to a point now where I don't care about winning. I want to hurt this man, because why are you guys making me look like the crazy one when you guys are the crazy ones? You can't be taking Cody Rhodes' side after what he did to us. And the fact you're cool with it, I'm going to beat some sense into you to make you realize it.
And I think we
extends
both know where there's another person involved in that's going to drive Kevin even deeper off the deep end there too.
So Kevin Owens, I think this match goes into Survivor Series and we get the rematch at Survivor Series.
Okay.
No disqualification, all that.
Okay. That makes sense too. Yeah.
So I think Kevin Owens wins by disqualification, which then takes Randy off TV for, I don't know, 1-2 weeks. Do they even have that kind of time? I don't think they do. So maybe he takes him off TV for like a week and then comes back and he wants his rematch and he wants it, no disqualification, something crazy. And you get that at Survivor Series. And then that's where, the story can continue. So, yeah, I'm going Randy Orton, but by DQ.
Okay, just out of curiosity, with that being the idea that you have, who's Cody facing at Survivor Series?
Don't know. Take the night off, Cody. Don't care.
I doubt that's going to happen, but that's an interesting thing, right?
I don't. Maybe you do with triple threat with those guys. I don't know.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
We'll see. We'll have to see what happens here, because then he gets in between them. Like, hey guys, you need to stop, and then that's what drives the wedge between Cody and Ray. I don't know how we get there, but I that's what I think. Which does raise a good question, because I don't know what you do with Cody at Survivor Series, but I don't really care at this point because we're talking about Crown Jewel. We'll get to Survivor Series after the fact. Goldberg, Cody versus Goldberg. There you go. But now it's time for what I believe to be the main event of the evening: the Bloodline versus the Bloodline 2.0. The OGs versus the Solo Sikoa team. That's what I'm gonna call them. They ain't earned a good nickname yet. Do you think this? Are you of the thought, like every other dummy I've seen, that this build has happened too quickly?
Absolutely not. This isn't the final anything. This is just this. We're just to steal a Paul Heyman phrase. We're in the bottom of the fifth right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like let's be clear here. This is nowhere near the end. This is a 6-man tag match. Survivor Series is coming up next month. You know that means War Games. The Bloodline has been involved in every War Games match over the past, 3-4 years? Whatever the hell it's been, 2, 3, however long it's been.
3.
I think that
I don't know. I'm gonna look this up too. Continue. I'm gonna look.
Whatever it is, but we know that if everybody's been saying this is where this leads to, there are 4 members of the Bloodline. Of the new Bloodline. There are only 3 men in this match, so we don't know if it's going to be Tama, Jacob, and Solo. We don't know if it's going to be Solo and the Gorillas of Destiny. What if Solo doesn't even wrestle and he just says it's going to be Jacob and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa? There's a lot of different things that can go on here that can lead us to know that we're not, hey, we're outnumbered. We got to call in somebody else. And that could lead to the reemergence of Sami Zayn into this story where Sami says to Jay this past week, hey, you don't need this. You don't need to get involved. Jay said he's not family. Now we see Sami talking to Solo. And, we know that Solo and Sami were cool during the Bloodline time. Solo just did Roman's bidding because that's who Solo was at the time. He wasn't the tribal chief. He was the enforcer. There's a lot going on here too. Also,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's interesting that Jacob is now kind of coming off the path of making decisions. He's the one who cost Jay that match when Solo said he was coming out to help Jay. So, there's a lot of things that are going on to drive some wedges on both sides to start. They don't do things by accident there. I think we've learned this. I think that I think there's a big chance that Roman and Jim and the Usos lose this one. And that's what builds us up to get into Survivor Series where they've got to go after revenge because, we have to stop them once and for all. There's only 3 of us. We got to get our number 4. So I think that's where we're going with this.
So Survivor Series first happened in 2022 on the main roster, and that was the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes with Drew and Kevin. Last year was not Bloodline. It was Team Cody versus Judgment Day.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I thought there was 2 Bloodline ones, but
there definitely was. It was
nope. Survivor Series 2022, that was the first one, and then Survivor Series last year, that was Judgment Day. So this is the 3rd year they've done it on the main roster. So,
right, that's when Sami becomes a member of the Bloodline.
Yeah, he
hits Kevin Owens.
Kevin,
right?
Yeah. So I think
there's another one. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think Roman. I this is a hard one. I do think Solo's Bloodline wins. I think the numbers game has to come into play because that's what drives us to be like, we need Sami.
Right.
I hope this is a hot crowd. I hope they're not dead in the water. I hope they're...
Saudi crowds never are. They're always...
I want them to chant Sami because they love Sami Zayn.
Yes, they do.
Love that man. And they have a lot of ground to make up on SmackDown to get Sami to come out there and help them.
Yeah.
Am I going to complain if he does and there was no groundwork done on SmackDown? Absolutely freaking not. I'm not an idiot. That's going to be amazing. I want to see Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns hugging that ring so badly. I think he makes the save from the beatdown. I think Team Solo wins. And then afterwards, they're like, we're not done. We are not done. I think it's possible that you might see the Hikuleo guy show up. I think there's a possibility here. That way it's 5-on-3. Sami comes down to make the save. I don't know who would be the 5th. I guess Cody would be your 5th team member for Survivor Series. And there you go. That's what Cody's doing at Survivor Series.
See, look at that. We made it work. You made it come around.
I'll make it make sense, man. Yep. I'll get there eventually. It's not just a hamster running around in a wheel in here. I got some ideas. And they do come full circle. Man.
Yeah, I think there's also a chance that Roman and the Usos win and we still get the beatdown afterwards to, you know what I mean?
You start off on a high note or you close on a sour note. And I think, but then if Sami makes the day, you're closing on a high note anyway. So,
exactly. Or does Sami come down and then you, like you said, Hikuleo does debut and now it's 5 on, they still have the numbers advantage,
I think Solo has to win here. If we're going to do war games, they have they have to win.
I think so too.
I think it's the numbers game that gets them the win for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how these things work. And then the War Games is the one that the OG bloodline stands tall to, claim dominance. So with that said, yes, I'm going with Team Solo Sikoa here. Bonus question number 1. Does Sammy come out at any point to help?
I have a feeling it's not going to happen yet. I think it's too soon. You don't think
Sammy shows up at all?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's too soon. I think they have to win him back.
Okay. I'm going to say he does show up because I am a hopeful son of a bitch.
I like that.
Who pins who? Oh, first off, who you got winning?
Jacob pins Jimmy.
So you have you have Solo's team win.
Yeah, I think Jacob pins Jimmy.
I got Team Solo as well. And you got Jacob, Pin, and Jimmy. I'm going to tell you what. I got Solo, Pin, and Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
I want it to be Jacob, Pin, and Roman Reigns so bad, but I know they're not going to do that. I think if you're going to really drive home that we need to do the War Games, I think it's got to be Solo pinning Roman Reigns. And then the beatdown continues. So, third bonus question. Do we see the return of Paul Heyman?
I would love to see that, but again, I don't think so. I think that's coming. I think that's coming soon, but I don't think it's there yet. And I think that the way we get Sammy back in the fold is the return of Paul Heyman. I think that Jay tries to talk to him. I think he still says, no, I ain't doing it. I think Jimmy tries to talk to him. He says no. I think Roman even calls him out, and he still says no. And that's when we get the return of the wise man. Paul, that's it. We don't have anybody. And at the last minute, Sami Zayn comes back, and Paul Heyman walks out with them, and boom.
Okay.
We're off to the races.
I'm saying no to Heyman now, too, because I have a fourth bonus question. That's right. 4 people. Do we see The Rock show up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. No Rock. He says no to everything. No Sammy, no Rock, no Heyman, no Liv winning, no nothing fun. I don't like fun, Albert. That's your
right.
I think The Rock does show up. And I don't
Interesting. Okay.
So this is what just dawned on me.
You think he flies all the way to Saudi?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I think the report came out yesterday. And this is the kind of reports I don't mind because it's not spoiling anything. It's just giving you some information. And it was that The Rock is all in to be a part of WWE. Like, if he can make it work, he is going to do what he can to make it work. He's a board member. The more it works, the more money this man's going to make. So
absolutely.
I think that plays into this. And I think the timing of that report is very interesting. And forget Hikuleu, because if you put The Rock in the War Games match, which I know is a crazy idea, now what you have is the star power on Team Solo's side to match up with a Roman and a Cody Rhodes and a Jey Uso, because all 3 of those dudes trump Solo's team. Like, Jacob Fatu's a monster and just would eat them all alive in real life. But star power alone, The Rock evens those things out. And what also helps here is you got Cody's involved here, and Cody and Sammy helping Roman. That's what's going to drive Kevin insane. Like, not only are you helping Roman, but you're helping Cody as well. And he's a son of a bitch, just like Roman's a son of a bitch. And now you're a son of a bitch. And we're off to the races with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn again. So that's what I'm thinking here.
I don't mind that at all.
I think The Rock and War Games is very crazy to think of. I
think it is.
I think it's absolutely batshit insane.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's too crazy to say it wouldn't happen. I don't know how likely it is. So would I like to see it? Yeah.
Here's how it works, though, is he's literally the last one to enter.
Of course he is.
And then he just picks the bones dry.
Right. And then everybody else takes the big bumps, and he gets, hit with like one big major move, and that, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely ways to work around it.
So I'm going to go ahead and change my main event pick then. I'm picking it. I'm picking Roman pin Solo.
Okay.
I'm picking Roman pin Solo.
Because now Rock's got to come and do it himself.
Yes. Boom. I make it make sense. I'm sorry, Sai. I stole your catchphrase.
See, I'm going to stay. And I think that the reason why Rock has to get involved is because Solo loses. And he's like, hey, you couldn't get it done. Now I got to be the one to be there to do it.
So Roman pins Solo.
I'm sorry. That's what you were saying.
At the last one.
See, this is why I don't think Rock gets involved, because I think that Solo's team wins. And I think that's the catalyst to them having that 4-on-4 match, because Rock doesn't need to come back. His plan's already in motion. We all know that, he's the brains behind this new bloodline. I mean, I think everybody kind of has figured it out that that's the case. So they win. They're on a win. They don't even need to do War Games, but of course they're going to get coaxed into it. That's when they lose, and that's when The Rock comes out at the end of Survivor Series. And then he's like, okay, Thanos glove, got to do it myself.
I'm sticking with my original plan. Solo pins Roman, because Roman pins Solo at Bad Blood.
Okay.
But I think The Rock is involved, and that's how that happens.
Interesting. Okay.
I think The Rock is getting involved. I've done tricked myself into believing this happens. I've only went 6 months over, everybody. I've only went 6 months over, but I've been gone for a month. So give me a freaking break. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Now that we have talked a little bit more about it, this is going to be a great show, because there's so much unpredictability happening here. And we got some banger matches. Bangers.
It's going to be
the same part of it.
Yeah.
So
think about it. This is going to be a great card, and Dom isn't even in a match. That's how good it is.
He'll be there getting some booze, though.
It's crazy, though. Think about this. Dom's not wrestling. CM Punk's not there. Drew McIntyre's not there. And the
show is still that fucking
And it's still stacked. Completely stacked.
This is the best WWE roster of all time.
It's unbelievable. An embarrassment of riches.
I don't care. Ruthless aggression doesn't stand a chance. Sorry, everybody. This roster is that deep. This is like insanely deep. This is late 90s Yankees deep, not the present day Yankees deep.
Let's not talk about that right now, okay?
Oh man, I had to
sneak between the World Series and the and Raw last night. All right, let's just.
I had to sneak that one in there.
Thanks,
but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and it's on in the middle of the day.
I love that.
It's even fucking better, man. Oh
Always.
God, Saturday is going to be amazing. So with that said, thank you everybody for watching. If you tuned in, much appreciated. Albert, if you have anything you'd like to say before we say our goodbyes, now is your chance to do so, Mr. Matt Pardona. That's your name, Matt Pardona. Because you're part Matt Cardona.
Not really. I guess maybe one of these days I'll get the last couple episodes up there on the Slam Sessions, but life's been
in the meantime, just go watch the old stuff if you haven't already.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There you go. And we'll be back at the normal time next Thursday, and I think it'll be the perfect time to do the Kevin Owens spotlight that we missed out on last time, because the move that I went through was a long one. And other things. So,
and then there were hurricanes.
Oh my goodness, the hurricane! We missed that one by.
Yep.
So sorry for everyone that was that bad though. That was nasty.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was nasty. So, yeah, we'll be back next Thursday. Kevin Owens spotlights. I'll repost so we can get some other people's opinions. And Tidy said he will join us for that. Oh, excuse me. As long as he is not working. So. Any way I can get Tidy on the show, I'm going to do so no matter what. We got to talk about wrestling with him to lift his spirits. With
Absolutely.
That said, we will see you back next Thursday. This is a Thursday. It's not 2 days from now, but the next Thursday at the normal time of
Thursday
6
after Halloween.
Eastern. Yes, the first Thursday of November.
Boom.
That's what we'll be. And yeah, we'll be there. Kevin Owens Spotlight. And thank you all for watching. Toodles.
Just enjoy wrestling, remember.